The first scale I think we should learn should be our A minor pentatonic scale, which should sound something like this. Quick demonstration of how it could sound in a solo. It's quite a nice scale, but let's first of all learn how to use it. Now presently my guitar is set up for overdrive, more for a hard rock sound, so I'm going to change the pickup switch, go to a clean sound, which is more than likely what you're going to expect to hear if you're playing an acoustic guitar. The scale works for acoustic and electric. It's not style dependent. But before we go any further, let's learn the scale. Now we're starting at fret number 5. And you can see over here, if I go a bit out of frame, there's my nut. First, second, third, fourth, fifth fret with my first finger is, and I'm on the 6th string. Remember, 6th string is the thickest string, and the first string is the thinnest. So to start the scale, we're starting ascending, going from low to high pitch. And we're starting at fret number 5 of the 6th string. Also, before we go any further, my fingers have been numbered. Make sure that if you had numbers in your fingers, please don't write fingers on your numbers. And or numbers on your fingers, okay? Please don't do that, but make sure you use the same fingers as I'm using for the scale. It's going to give you better technique, better control. Okay, here we go, your scale. Fret 5, fret 8, both on the 6th string. Onto the 5th string, fret 5, fret 7. Onto the 4th string, fret 5, fret 7. Onto the 3rd string now, 3rd from the bottom, again fret 5 and fret 7. And then as we go to the 2nd string from the bottom, fret 5 again to fret 8. Notice the pinky is being used, very, very important. Make sure your pinky gets used. And we finish off on the 1st string, also 5 and 8. So if you were to play it through slowly ascending, and I'm going to count now 2, 3, 4 for example, so that if you know the scale, you can always rewind the video and play along with me. Okay, I'm going to take you through nice and slowly. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, and... And you'll notice that as I was going through the scale as well, my picking hand, which is now sort of waving at you in the bottom corner, is also alternating strokes. In other words, I pick down, I pick up, I pick down, I pick up, I pick down, I pick up. That's the correct way to learn to pick. So this would be bad where everything is a downstroke. Make sure you're always alternating. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. When you descend the scale now, we're going to start on the pinky. So you're going from the highest pitched note, fret number 8, where my pinky is now there. And I'm going to go from the first, the thinnest string, fret numbers 8, 5, onto the 2nd string, 8, 5 again, onto the 3rd string, 7, 5, 4th string, 7, 5 again, 5th string, 7, 5, and then we finish on your low pitch thickest string, 8, 5. So now that you've learned that scale, again pause if you need to, go over it if you have to, it's fine. And let's try and play it together, ascending and descending in one sweep. So it's going to go something like this. Are you ready? Fret number 5. 2, 3, 4, and... and reverse. And then try and build some speed with it. So slowly but surely make sure your strokes are up and down the whole way through. Try and keep your palm near the bridge, near the saddles. These little things are called the saddles. I'll do it on acoustic now as well, just to demonstrate the techniques, to compare the electric guitar to the acoustic guitar, to show that it's equally important with the fretting hand on both, and just to confirm where our picking hand should be resting. But for now on the electric, it's at the back, so the top over here. And remember, playing from the wrist. So I'm not doing this. If I play from my elbow, I've got far too much of a sweep. I cover too many strings. I position my back part of the palm onto the saddles over here on part of the bridge, and then I play from the wrist. So it's much more smaller strokes. You can see now if I focus into this hand, on my picking hand, watch how small the strokes are. And you can see small strokes and a continual up and down movement the whole way through. Okay, want to do it one more time with me before I switch to an acoustic guitar? Let's give it a go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Have you got that? Now I'm going to quickly switch over to an acoustic guitar just to demonstrate the difference so you can compare the sounds. And we're going to have something that looks like this. Here we have the acoustic guitar. You can see the bridge is slightly different. This is the light of the spotlight was reflecting in the body. Don't want to see that. Okay, but you can see the palm now is resting close to these little pins, which are holding the strings in position. There's the bridge. My palm is there. And again, alternating strokes. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And the scale sounds just as cool for improvising if you're playing acoustic. And if you want to play it through once with me on your acoustic, let's do that as well, just so we can hear it. And keep in mind the alternative strokes, and to make sure you're using the same fingers as I'm using as well. Are we ready for this? 1, 2, 3, 4, and... Now this is position number 1 of the minor pentatonic. We're not going to go into position number 2 or 3 or 4 yet. There's 5 in total because penta means 5. But we're going to add a little bit extra on to sort of prime you or take you just leaning towards the next part of where we're going to head with it. But I'm going to quickly switch guitars one more time. Now with this electric guitar, we've got a much different type of bridge. If you remember the first electric guitar, it had 2 sections, the silver part here and a tailpiece at the back there. This is a Fender Strat. They've got what they call a Strat style bridge for obvious reasons. Okay, but the important part over here again is about the positioning of where your palm should be for picking. Now on that extra note, you've learned this, right? So you've got this under control. I'm going to play it through one more time. You can never get too much of reinforcing your scale shapes. 5, 8, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 8, 5, 8. We mentioned that we're not going to go into position 2 and learn it yet, but we're going to add on a few extra notes. I'm going to add on this little block position here. Now, I want you just to play that through slowly for me once through. We're starting on the 2nd string from the bottom. This is fret number 8, in fret number 8 over here. And the 3rd finger is going to play fret number 10. So we're going to go 7, 10, 8, 10, 8, 10, 8, 10. So you're going to take your original scale and you can hear there's a similarity inside there. You can hear certain notes are duplicated as we added those last 4 notes, 8, 10, 8, 10 into it. And now we're going to ditch fret number 5. So check this out. This is going to be your sort of crossover and your preparation for your next pentatonic scale position. Check this out. 5, 8, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, slide up to 9. Same as this here. Same note. So this note is the same note as that note. So fret number 5 on the 2nd string is exactly the same as fret number 9 on the 3rd string, which is quite cool because now we can use a slide. Nice technique onto the 8 that you would have normally played anywhere from the 1st position you just learned. But now you can bring that 10 and the 8 and the 10 here. So you've got a slightly more higher register that you can end on. So instead of ending the last part like this, I can now go, gives me a little bit more to play with. And if I wanted to get really cheeky, I can add in fret number 12, which is where I've got those double dots you can see on your guitar as well. Also on the top you can see the double dots there. That's number 12. Very important fret. You'll learn why later. Gives you quite a nice sort of range to play with if you want to do your first solo. And one more time through, just a little demo solo, nice and slow. There's that slide going up to 8 and 10. Sliding up to 10 and 12. Maybe doing a bend from the 12 or from the 10 to the 12. There's a 10. And instead of going there, I bend to get the same pitch. Nice techniques that you're going to eventually learn and specialize and focus on as we're going along, but something that you can sit and try in the meantime, so if you learn the scale quickly it works well. Now, why the minor pentatonic? Because I say so. No, wrong answer. For those that have might had classical training, you might have learned your C major scale, which is not really a good blues rock scale, and within reason. I'm sure some people might sort of disagree, but I think the majority of rock guitarists will agree that the most user-friendly and easiest to apply scale is your A minor pentatonic, if you're in the key of A, obviously. So to be more specific over here, the position number 1, because this is position number 1 of A minor, is going to be the easiest one to learn to solo with. Now, if you've learned a bit on bar chords and you know that your bar chord A minor is at fret 5 and I go to B minor bar chord at fret 7, I can do the same with the scales. So what we're saying is the scales are movable, they're transposable, but their shapes don't change. So check this out quickly. Listen carefully, watch finger notation. I'm going back to the original scale shape we learned at the beginning of the video, and I'm playing it from fret number 5. You can see again, there's the nut. If you double check my counting, it's definitely fret 5. And here's A minor pentatonic. Here's B minor pentatonic from fret 7. Here is C minor pentatonic from fret 8. Let's say I need a G minor pentatonic. G is by fret 3. So what I hope you're learning from this over here is that the first position of the minor pentatonic scale, the shape is identical provided you started on the 6th string, and whatever note you begin it on, in other words, if I started on the note A, it's A minor pentatonic. If I started on the note B, it's the B minor pentatonic. If I started on the note C, it's the C minor pentatonic. So on the D, it's D minor pentatonic. You don't always have to start on the opening note of it. I can play G minor pentatonic. As long as I'm playing it, that if you imagine the shape, it would be from the correct fret. So we got that. Your goals were to learn the A minor pentatonic scale. You learned it once, you can play this. You can add these extra notes on. You can then slide to fret 12. All in the key of A minor. We've learned that, we got that. And then we learned that you can move these scales. So you can take now A minor and you can play B minor. And here's your other little box shape that we added on for the A minor pentatonic as well. But everything goes up the same amount of frets. It's really as easy as that. But first of all, learn the minor pentatonic scale shape. Learn it from A. It's a good place to start. Everyone has to start there. And A minor has got no sharps and flats because it's related to C major. But that's theory for another day. We'll cover that in another session. Any questions, let me know. Happy to help and have an awesome day. Thank you. Cheers.